my question for the day is, what is your why? If you've done personal development and you've been on anybody's social media, YouTube, podcast platforms of all types, that person has probably asked you, what is your why? And asked you to remember it. Write it down. Take a picture. Why do you need to know your why? Because you'll need it. You'll need it. It's been a while since y'all seen me. We're working on revamping, maybe coming out with a season 2 for the Lights podcast. And in the meantime, it's been discouraging. It's been inconsistent. It's been frustrating. I feel like I haven't been heard. I feel like I put in a lot of work and ain't nobody listening. During those weeks, I should have said what is your why? Why did you create the Lights podcast? Why did you call it the Lights podcast? Why did you get up every day and do it twice a week? Why did you overmarket? Why did you try to put it on every platform that you could? Why? Y'all know I'm okay with being vulnerable. I don't care. I'll share my story because I realize now that I have one and it's important to share. Just like you need to know your why, you need to know your story. You need to be open to telling people because it could save lives. And I'm going to say this right here. Why? We talk about multiple potentiality, right? Multi-skill sets, being able to monetize those and being happy with the passions that you have. We ain't talking hobbies. We're talking about real life skills that could save someone. That's why we built this platform. We also talk about financial freedom because you cannot be a starving artist. I don't want no starving artists around me. My dream is bigger than just the streets. My dream is bigger than just Florida. My dream is bigger than just Missouri. My dream is bigger than the U.S. My accomplishments will be universal. The hearts I touch, the souls I touch, they will be all over the world. That's not manifesting. That's knowing my worth. That's knowing my confidence. And my why do I continue to do it? Is because I remember when the models that I had, the mentors that I had to look at, there were none. People say, oh, I'm debt free. That means I'm wealthy. No, it does not. I'm an entrepreneur. I get to do what I want to do. I get to take off when I want to. I'm well off. I'm successful. That doesn't mean that. Every day is work. Every day is work. We talk about Kobe Bryant saying that the game is in the practice. It's not in the game. You do the same things you did over and over and over again in practice, it will show up in the game. It's the same with this life stuff, y'all. We can't just wake up and go at it. You gotta be particular. You gotta be intentional. You have to understand, what is it that I am doing and why am I in this space right now? Where do I plan on going? Yo, big G to the L to the O to the big glow. She said, that's why I love them all. Because we don't know if it's coming. But we prepare for it. I talked to y'all about preventative maintenance. It's something that Derek Grace II taught me. There are things as Black Americans, we look at each other and we say, man, that's not a Black thing. That's a white problem. You know, students shooting up schools, we have no control over that. That is a lie. You know what life could throw at you. Financially, people don't have emergency funds knowing that things will occur, knowing that your car could break down, knowing that there could be a pipe that goes out in the home that you own, knowing that you might be out of work for a week if you get sick this year. And there's a large chance that you could get sick this year. So why are we not preparing ourselves and why are we not setting ourselves up for success to be able to keep going? So what is your why? My why, Maisha's why, is my family. I'll extend on that. When I was 7 years old, I was blessed to have a baby sister. I was no longer the only child in the home. My baby sister was born December 2000. When I was 7 years old, we were 7 years apart. My mom and my dad still together, making it work. Not wealthy people at all. Would I say they were working paycheck to paycheck? Yes. My entire life, I watched my dad work himself to death. Literally, my father worked himself to death At the age of 50, I lost my father. My father did not live a full life, the average expectant life of a human. I know for a fact it shouldn't be dying at 50. He hustled. My father also drove himself to sickness. So wellness is another why of mine. You know how terrified I would be to look at my children in the face and not be able to see them walk down the aisle, not be able to see my grandchildren breathe, not be able to see my children come up on success of things that maybe I taught them. You know how brokenhearted it would be to be able to lead them in this world when there's so much more to learn? My mother broke her back when my father was no longer in the home to be present and to be a provider. She works from home, her in-home daycare, while going to school to still get her early childhood education. Both of my parents had minimal, very minimal. We struggled. The only thing I ever wanted as a kid was my own room, and I never got it. From the age of 7 till I was 18 and went away to college, I had no room to myself. So I lived a life in a bedroom, sharing it with my sister, who were 7 years apart. I'm also in the closet because I don't know how to freely have my sexuality. I don't know how to freely be independent of myself. I can't sneak on the phone and talk to girls. I can't do anything because I'm sharing a life with a life that has a 7-year gap. I was miserable. I was depressed. I did not want to be alive. Every single day was a struggle. One of the worst times of my life because I felt so suffocated. Financially, if my mother could have, or if my father, if we could have been given the opportunity to be in a 3-bedroom, because we were limited. My mother was on Section 8. We were limited. Y'all know that. We limited to zip codes. We limited to square footage, and we're limited to the landlord that you have. Most of the times when people suck. Most of the times the district you're in sucks. You'd be lucky to get Section 8 in a great school district, in a great neighborhood, right? This ain't no secret. Majority of the black mothers I knew growing up in the district that I grew up in were all on Section 8. It was set up that way. It was set up to move us all in the same area. So we were limited. We had limited resources. And I, to this day, had to share that room, and it was one of the worst times of my life. I hated it. But my mother provided me with presence, love, care. So that's why I'm still here today and alive. My baby sister, she looks up to me. I still got to go hard. That is my why. I do not want my child to be limited in the space that they're in. I do not want my child to see me work myself to the grave. I do not want my child to see me asking for anything from a government, because all they doing is taxing it anyway. Financially, black people, we are responsible to get educated. It is no longer okay to have an excuse of we don't know. That's a white people thing. It is no longer suitable. So as for me, I'm growing my why. My why will always be for my family, and it will always be resulted from my past. I was blessed to have the parents that I had. I was blessed to see the struggle that I saw. Because if I didn't, the hunger that I have now would not exist. But without consistency, we'll never start. Without consistency, we'll never finish. That is my question for you. What is your why? I encourage you to write it down. I encourage you to do a scrapbook. I encourage you to do anything that it can physically put it in your face, so you are reminded even when you don't know you need a reminder, because every day is every day, and it's been given to you. And tomorrow may not come. Matter of fact, we just talked about preventative maintenance, correct? Tomorrow will not come. There will be a date where tomorrow will come and it will not have you in it. My Father's Day was January 1, 2019. That tomorrow did not come from my father. So it is important that we build ourselves up skill set wise as multi potentialites. There are a lot of Black folks that have a lot of multi-skill sets. They got a lot of hustling skills, and they need to apply it in a legal, corporational manner so that you can so you can get tax breaks, so that you can build on the income that you have, save on the money that you're getting, invest that money to bring yourself to financial freedom from your multi-skill sets that you have built, and then teach your children how to build themselves at another level so that the generation not only is breaking curses, but is also building. An empire is not built on the same skill set that it was learned from the great-great-great-great-grandfather. No, there must be growth with amongst the family. So your why, it starts there. When you look your grandchild in the face one day, you will be reminded, baby, this is what got me through. You'll need a why too. Because life is hard and hard things are expected in life. So why do we sit around and allow for them to just come to us when tomorrow is not promised? Today's episode is dedicated to that why. Today's episode is dedicated to vulnerabilism. Today's episode is understanding your story. Today's episode is never forgetting your story, never forgetting where you came from, because where you're going has much value. And you would not be at that destination had it not been for your journey. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. I hope that season 2 comes with as much heat and fire as on this mic. I hope that y'all are taking it in. By all means, like I always say, please do not dim your light. Continue to shine bright. And you heard it here first. The Lights Podcast. Peace.